And the COP28 United Nations Climate Change Conference is underway in Dubai. It is the largest international climate conference of the year, and in normal times, Israeli experts would be focused on the range of crucial issues on the agenda. But this year, the Israeli delegation is also focused on bringing international attention to the hostages held by Hamas. And joining us now from the COP28 in Dubai is Aviva Steinberger, the Director of Innovation Diplomacy at Startup Nation Central. Aviva, thank you for joining us.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So about the COP28 conference, this was supposed to open the news broadcasts. It's a major global conference, and unfortunately, given the situation here in Israel, that hasn't been the case. And so I would be interested to hear from you at the conference about the conference itself and Israel's participation and contribution to this global challenge.
Yeah, so this was supposed to be Israel's largest delegation at a COP ever. We were expecting probably hundreds of Israeli startups to join in the official delegation and side delegations. And because of what's happening in Israel, understandably, many startups could not come, would not come. Today there are probably about 24, if not even fewer, 20 companies that are here at COP. And Israel's contribution to COP and the climate conversation in general is really about the innovation angle. We are known, obviously, as a startup nation, and Startup Nation Central has been working with many of the startups in the climate tech sector. There are over 700 of them. But beyond even the innovative companies and the startups in Israel that identify as climate tech companies, there can be and are so many others whose technologies can be adapted to bring positive impact to the impacts of climate change, whether it be climate mitigation or adaptation to climate challenges. And so the sector is really a growing one, and we feel very confident that Israel has a lot to contribute on the global stage.
And so what specifically is Startup Nation Central doing at the COP28?
We've been building up to COP28 since COP27 in Sharm el-Sheikh, and really looking at COP in this region as an opportunity to go deep on Israel's contribution. And so Startup Nation Central has two main goals at this year's COP. One is harnessing the relationships that we've been building over the last year. Startup Nation Central is an official observer organization that was granted this year here at the COP. And we've been working with organizations in the United States, corporates across the country, and also globally. And so our idea is to give the voice of Israeli technology a global platform and really help gain access to those global players. So that's on the one hand, that's one goal is harnessing those relationships. And the other, especially given the situation now, is to give as much visibility and as much voice to the Israeli tech ecosystem in as many of those platforms as possible. So we've had 7 different activations throughout the week on global stages, primary global stages in front of COP presidency audiences, tech and innovation hub stages, and the UN climate stages. And so it's really impactful when the 20 companies that are here have access to those kinds of audiences.
And can you maybe share some of the reactions you're receiving as Israelis today at the COP? I mean, you mentioned some of the startups were afraid. Were you at all afraid to travel there in light of the situation? I mean, maybe you could share a little bit about your experiences.
I wouldn't say I was afraid. I was certainly concerned, hesitant about leaving home, certainly. But being here seemed to have significant importance and relevance to sharing the Israel message. And so coming to COP I was hesitant, but the host country has been very welcoming and has made it so that I think all of us feel quite safe being here. Reactions when talking to people, and you meet thousands of people here at all of the different events throughout the 2 weeks, has probably been more of curiosity than anything else. And so just by starting conversation of, hey, where are you from, turns into a conversation where you really can engage on some interesting issues. And I would say that when you put climate and climate change and climate innovation at the start of that conversation, a lot of opportunities open up for relating from a values perspective of what is it that we're trying to accomplish together. because climate change is not a political conversation. We're all dealing with the same challenges, and climate innovation is a door opener.
Absolutely. Well, Aviva Steinberger, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. And I just want to say on behalf of Startup Nation Central and the strong team, I'm not here alone. There are a bunch of us who are here making these things happen. We appreciate it.